What's up YouTube, and welcome back for part 5 of the single overhead cam EJ257 hybrid build. In this episode I'm going to start preparing the block. I've already gone ahead and cleaned up and painted a bunch of stuff, so some of that can go on. So actually the camera is sitting on the old block right now, and it needs to come off the stand and get out of the way. The new block will go onto the stand, and I'll probably start putting some of the pieces on. I've actually decided to use the NA oil pan because the drain for the oil pan drains off to the passenger side of the vehicle, whereas the turbo oil pan drains off to the driver's side. Well, on the driver's side, that's where the NA header actually wraps around. So I mean, you could probably still put it on and have oil splash onto the header as you're doing your oil changes, but I'm just going to end up using the NA pan. I don't see why you can't. I'm about cleaning it up, getting as much rust off of the pan as I could. I actually banged out a little dent that was in it from the inside and then repainted the pan. We're actually filming on the Hero 4 black that I ordered quite some time ago, but something strange did happen. The first Hero 4 black that arrived had problems, and the Wi-Fi didn't work at all, and the batteries seemed to just drain out in no time at all in it for some reason. It was killing batteries, and so I contacted the seller and rearranged a return through eBay because that's where I bought it. So this guy ends up waiting out the claim right to the end, never replied, and at that point eBay was willing to cover what I spent and even the shipping to get it to me. And when he didn't reply with a method of return, whether he's going to actually supply the return shipping payment or an RMA form so that I could get it returned, that was another 3 days, and he didn't reply to that. So eBay let me have that other camera. Now mind you, the camera doesn't work very well, but if it kills a battery in about 20 minutes or so, that's not too bad. And what I'm planning to use that camera for is the drone. It makes a perfect drone camera. It'll take high quality images, and the batteries only need to last, that 12-minute flight or whatever, so I can just pop in a new battery when I replace the drone battery and send it up again if I really wish to. So in other words, I think that guy tried to scam me, because the original auction was with a battery. He was going to sell it to me with a battery, and it didn't arrive with a battery. So I couldn't even test it till a couple days later, and then when I did, I found out all these problems. Then he never replied to anything. So believe it or not, he actually reimbursed me $15 for the battery, which I also didn't return. I call that pain and suffering, believe it or not. And so I made out with a half-ass GoPro Hero 4 and $15 US to put towards this camera. So I am filming on another GoPro Hero 4 black. It does 4K. It'll be something I can use in the future, and having too many GoPros is never a problem. I realized the biggest thing with the Hero 4 over the Hero 3 Silver that I've been using this whole time is the color difference. The colors are a lot more vivid and a little bit brighter. And now that I have a few GoPros, I should be able to come up with some cooler ideas for actual content and filming. So now I got to get to work. I'm going to take that block off, put the other one on, clean up a little bit, get rid of some of the parts that I can actually bolt onto the block out of my way, and make sure the bench is cleared. I'm going to grab a cylinder head, put it on the bench, and start taking that guy apart. So I'm at the point with the short block that I would probably go about putting the heads on, and the heads aren't ready yet, so it's time to go work on them. Everything's been kind of painted, so I did the crossover pipe, I did the aftermarket oil pressure sender, this little bracket, the new water pump. It's a GMB water pump. I sprayed it with some clear coat to hopefully keep some of the corrosion off of it. And the oil pan was obviously sprayed. As if you noticed at the start there, I had to trim into the actual STI windage plate, or the baffle plate, so that the NA oil pickup would fit. And then I had to ding a little bit of the end of it in so that the NA oil pan would actually drop on. Now on the top side here, I didn't realize, but this vent is completely in the way of the NA coolant crossover. So I cut it off and filled it with JB Weld, believe it or not. And it shouldn't be a problem. It's just crankcase pressure. So I've got the first head up on the bench. This is the left-hand bank, or bank number 2, the one that had the problem with number 4 cylinder. So I don't really see any problems with the actual combustion chamber. Everything looks really good. The valves actually look good. But I'm still going to take it apart. The single overhead cam heads are quite easy to get the valves out. You just have to take out the rocker shafts with all the rocker arms, and so you don't actually have to take the camshafts out to get the valves out, which is kind of nice. It's just a little bit less to take apart, and so I'm going to probably pop out some valves and get them set up for cleaning. But yeah, I just want to get the heads apart so that I can prepare for the next video and getting them all redone and back onto the actual block. So first I'll start by taking off the cam pulley. And then I'll take off this rear timing cover. Then I'll just go ahead and unbolt the rocker shafts. So the camshaft looks really good. It's actually got really minimal wear to it. And you can see how accessible all the valves are in a single overhead cam head. The camshaft lies in the middle. It doesn't lie on top of them with the buckets. So all the valves are already accessible, just taking those 8 bolts out. You don't have to actually split this bridge. So I've got my valve spring compressor out. I just want to, this one looks good right here. I just kind of need to open it up a little bit and sit the head upwards, and I should be able to start pressing out some of the valves, no problem. So I've got the spring compressor sitting on the first one. Okay, so I can start winding this in. If you're not familiar with this tool and what I'm doing with it, and you can't see on the other side, go to the BMW exhaust valve replacement video. It's got a really good shot of this side and the back side to actually see what's going on. So I've already got the keepers out, and I can start letting off on the spring. And there's the first valve. The valve looks really clean. Everything about the heads is really clean. Obviously the owner that had this engine before me took care in their oil changes and did them regularly. So we want to start keeping these in order, and so I'll actually keep this like the front, and I'll start punching through the valves just on that cardboard, and you can actually just take the spring and everything, and that keeps that valve and that spring. As long as we keep them in order going along, we can't mess them up. So I was going to go about pulling out all the valve stem seals because I bought a set to replace them, but I'm looking at the box and I open them up and I realize there's just 16 of them in there, and then I read and it says valve stem seal exhaust, and I remember these being different colors, intake to exhaust, even though these ones measure up to be, they'll go right onto the intake valves and they feel really good. I can't come up with a Felpro number for the intake seals. So I went digging through all my stuff, and sure enough I found 2 more packages of valve stem seals, but there's no numbers on them other than this little package number, which happens to be the same as the one that's in there, but they're all the same color, and I can't be sure of what I actually have. Do I have 3 sets of exhaust seals? So because they don't actually show a problem, and everything is really clean inside the head, I'm gonna have to resist changing them at this time. But still, with all the valves out, I can go about cleaning up these a little bit, maybe possibly opening them up a tiny little bit, really coming in down through here, cleaning these up. So I don't know if that's something I want to do or not, but it'll happen in the next week if I'm going to get into it. And then I just basically go and lap all the valves back into place and clean up the deck surface, preparing it for a new head gasket, and making sure all the valve adjustments are set properly, and obviously cleaning up the heads quite a bit. So really it should only be a matter of weeks now that I have the engine back together and back in the car and running. Everything's going pretty smooth, and I don't really have to wait for very much more to come in the mail. I'm waiting on some pieces to build the up pipe. I'm basically going to take the up pipe that I have from the exhaust kit that I bought. So that's a factory up pipe. I'm just going to basically cut this guy up and modify it into the shape that I need it to work with my NA header. But like I said, I'm getting closer and closer, and there's just a lot more cleaning and painting to do. So obviously the engine bay needs quite a big cleanup. I don't really want to spend a whole lot of time cleaning under the hood. I think it would just be a waste of my time. I'd rather drive the car and there's I don't know how many more years this actual chassis will be on the road. Lots of good parts on it to be reused, but to reuse them to keep this chassis on the road, it's going to need a lot of body work, and I'm not really interested in doing it. You may or may not have noticed how dirty and corroded some of this hardware was, and it's all getting cleaned up. Something like this bolt would have been. I went and bought a little bench grinder. It was on sale, and picked up the cheap wire wheel for it. So now I can do a lot of cleaning and just stuff that I need to do. It's something I've needed for quite a long time. I've wanted a bench grinder for quite a long time. But honestly, if you've made it this far into the video, coming up to the end of the video, I'll give you a little sneak peek. And I'm sorry, but that's all you get for now. You're going to have to tune in to the next video, which I'll probably do a quick little review and unboxing. But if you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Go check out my Instagram if you have a chance. Leave your questions and comments further down below, and I'll see you in the next one.